Hey everyone, it is Jackie Purcell and I'm coming to you from our digital desk here to give you kind of a preview of what Juneteenth, the rest of Juneteenth, and then summer solstice coming our way on Friday. That's tomorrow, followed by the weekend. And we have had some very warm weather over the last several days. In fact, heat advisories were part of the scene in the interior, and now that heat advisory is shifted to the northern panhandle. So I'm going to get you ready to show you what has been happening. So we're going to start off with a good view from South Central, where you can kind of see in that top left-hand box hazy conditions, and into interior Alaska, there on the top right, you can see that they have had, looks like a thunderstorm has rolled through with a little bit of some wet weather. Also hazy sunshine into the Palmer area. Palmer at 75 degrees. And there's even some sunshine in Ketchikan. In the last hour, they're looking at 58. And let me tell you, in the southeast portion of the state, they are going to be warming up here going into the next day. So nice weather as we start off. So we'll get to what is going on as far as that weather forecast. So as far as a 24-hour temperature change, some areas like around the Arctic slope are showing a temperature drop, but they're still seeing some of the warmest temperatures they've seen through the year. And there's been a significant increase in the temperature, a 16-degree climb out of King Salmon over the last 24 hours. And by comparison, it's been a 13-degree drop in Coal Bay, and even a drop in temperature for Unalaska from the last 24 hours. There is a big storm system swirling right over the Aleutians, and that is going to be creating some wet and windy conditions for Aleutian locations all over again. Already through Unalaska into King Cove and Coal Bay, they've seen some gusts of wind, some areas seeing in excess of 50 miles per hour. And then when it gets hot, that lightning pops, and that is exactly what is happening into the interior of the state. And you can see how extensive that lightning is. There's thousands of strikes going on through the afternoon, and here as we get into the early evening and even farther into the interior, red flag fire weather conditions. You can see some of those individual thunderstorm cells moving across that red flag warning area, and lightning, when it contacts the ground, can spark some wildfires. And we have seen over 16,000 acres burned just so far this year. In fact, right near Fairbanks, they have just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. A lot of times these warnings do not last very long because the thunderstorms are rolling through, but it looks like that is the case just this past few minutes. They could see some hail. There have been reports of some hail as big as penny size. Also some gusty winds in vicinity of some of these thunderstorms, up to 40-mile-per-hour gusts. And again, some of those lightning strikes, it looks like they're working their way toward the Talkeetna Mountains into the Copper River Basin. Be on alert for these types of activities firing up into the afternoons and certainly through this evening. For northern Alaska, it's a heat advisory affecting the Haines area, Klukwan, also a flood advisory for the Chilkat River. That's because of the heat. That's melting the snowpack. That water is filtering into those river systems. Check out the dome of hot air that extends from parts of the Brooks Range into the interior, edging into western Canada, sections of South Central through the Copper River Basin. This is just going to intensify as we go into Friday. So Friday is expected to be another very warm, even hot day for parts of the state. But as we head into the weekend with that storm system swirling, it's going to shove that ridge a little farther off to the east into western Canada. That's where that really high heat will go into the as we head into the weekend and through the weekend. So a little cooler, but still, nonetheless, we'll see those temperatures stay at least at normal levels, if not slightly above. Stormy conditions through the Aleutians, looking for showers to be more prevalent there, less so for the south central area. And other than convective showers, not much into the interior as far as a storm system that's well organized. So for southeast Alaska, looking at sunshine and 70s showing up in several locations, Ketchikan, Haines into Skagway. For the interior, it's going to be temperatures hitting the 80s on your Friday, summer solstice Friday. So sunscreen needed. Also the awareness of those possible thunderstorms. picking up into the afternoon, staying into the 80s as you start off the weekend, then 70s, and you know what, it might be a nice little, just a little taking the edge off some of those high temperatures. Back into the south central region with Kenai, across the Kenai Peninsula, some sunshine, gusty winds in Seward out of the south, 10 to 25 miles per hour. You could see winds up to 20 miles per hour in Valdez, but the sunshine, well, there's no shortage of that. It also heats things up in Gulkana around Glen Allen, Lake Louise to about 84 degrees. Mid 70s for the valley locations, Matanuska and Susitna. The Anchorage area, parts of the city, they're going to get to the 70s, but we'll say 68 degrees for our high temperature. Here is a look at that 7-day forecast for the Anchorage area on summer solstice, looking for a high temperature of 68 degrees. And Saturday, Sunday, increased levels of cloud cover, but the high temperatures should stay right around those norms, even slightly above. A little bit cooler into the start of the work week, though. There is a chance of rain that comes our way at that point. So it's expected to be very dry. Just be very fire safety conscious. If you're out and about or camping or have a campfire, that's allowed and that's legal, that is, but just make sure that you're staying safe out there. It's Juneteenth, and tomorrow it's summer solstice. I want everybody to have a safe and happy Friday and weekend.